Hello, sir.
How'd you go?
We made it. The first bit was horrible. The last bit was way better.
Yeah, all downhill.
All downhill. Welcome. We need sustenance. Timothy?
Let's go for a long ass walk. We're walking to Dux Daze and Toowong from my place in Chapel Hill.
Excellent. Do we know where we're going? No. Does it sound exciting?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, a friend of mine did like the selection course for the SAS.
Yeah.
He lost 11 kilos in 21 days.
Doing what?
Not eating. Like pack march a couple of I think it's close to 100 k's with about 80-90 kilos on it. So that's a lot worse than this.
I'm glad we're doing 7Ks with Tim's little baby vest. Tim's nearly lying forward trying to walk up this hill. I'm dying. I think all our elevation is in this one hill.
Thoughts, feelings?
A little puffed.
Coronavirus protection. 6.19 kilometers, an hour and 14 minutes. Probably 30-degree heat. Perfect time of the day.
Yeah.
So we're in the forest. We nearly got lost.
Nearly.
We had to use Siri. Siri's taking us up Mount Cootha. We didn't think we'd have to climb Mount Cootha today.
Nope.
Damn it. So we're at the top. That was horrendous. We're only 2.2 k's into our 7k walk. I'm having a bad time. How you feeling, Tim?
I'm not too bad. Mine's also 10 kilos lighter, but hey.
So we've run out of path. I'm just walking on the road now. Down Sir Samuel Griffith Drive. Who is Sir Samuel Griffith?
I don't know.
Oh, mate,
I don't want to say anything stupid.
You just told me that you worked at the Cootha Cafe and you didn't find out who Sir Samuel Griffith is?
No.
Sir Samuel Griffith. No, I'm joking. I don't care. I don't know who he is either.
He invented Mount Cootha.
He invented Mount Cootha.
Was an Australian judge and politician who served as the inaugural Chief Justice of Australia, in office from 1903 to 1919. He also served a term as Chief Justice of Queensland and 2 terms as Premier of Queensland, and played a key role in the drafting of the Australian Constitution.
I walk really weirdly.
This takes us down. We are here. Takes us down to there. Just stick with what we know, hey? Don't want to go back uphill, do we?
Yeah, I'm going like this. We know this is the way. Let's not make this into like a Blair Witch project.
Yeah. We're just gonna walk on the road. That's a perfectly good path. Nah, we're gonna walk on the road.
Brian, GoPro, Brian. This is Brian. He's the guy that took me through my first BJJ session. It was real hard. And how'd you get into it?
I got into BJJ, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I got into that probably 15 years ago. In high school in the US, we had a program where you could get out of taking gym class as long as you took a physical education class at the community college. They had karate, I took karate, and then in that class someone was like, oh, well, you can't do judo, because I wanted to do judo. And they're like, but I know a guy that does jiu-jitsu. A sketchy YMCA room upstairs from a guy that had only trained for a couple months. This is, of course, back in 2001 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. I got strangled and my arm almost broken, and couldn't believe that someone smaller than me could do that. So then I kind of was like, this is something I need to learn. Well, jiu-jitsu is it's a martial art that biases leverage over power. For example, the amount of force it takes to break an elbow, whether you're a CrossFit Games athlete or a slob, is about 20 kilos, regardless of how strong you are. So if you can put 20 kilos of force on an elbow, it's gonna break. So this is why I particularly like it, because at the time I wasn't very strong. A grappling wrestling based system on how to kind of dismantle someone else. And the reason I like it is if you win, you have won because you've outsmarted someone, not because you got lucky. And I like games that rely only on skill and get rid of luck.
Is it similar to CrossFit, as in you can have all different types of ability levels rolling with each other or doing the same thing?
Yeah, so there's definitely a rank system. You have your white, blue, purple, brown, black, and you have 4 stripes on each belt. Everyone at a gym usually rolls with everyone else, so a white belt can roll with a brown belt with a purple belt with a blue belt. It doesn't particularly matter. Usually comes into play in competitions, so if I go to compete, I'm only going to compete against other brown belts that are also around my size. But in a training environment, it's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of mateship, in almost any gym I've ever been to. So
I don't know what these guys are doing in their car, but this is a notorious spot. Do a little to dabble in the old magic gear lever. I didn't think people did it in the middle of the day, however. Unlikely this makes a vlog, but that one's just for you, Greg. 1 hour down. We're going really slow. Tim has a piece of advice for anyone else with a similar skin complexion to himself.
Put sunscreen on.
Definitely wear some sunscreen.
I'll have a t-shirt to burn for at least 3 weeks.
At least you didn't go shirtless.
Yeah.
Because then you'd have a weight vest burn. I can already taste my Dux brew, cold brew coming my way. There's never enough coffee in the world, mate. I just need a cold drink. Oh, you know what there is? Fit Aid.
Yeah, I could
go Fit Aid right now.
I think I would say the same thing that a lot of CrossFit coaches would say, and that's, if you want to do it, just jump in and do it, regardless of where you think your skill is or is not. With that said, someone that's in a lot of that's in shape, a lot of cardio, a lot of musculature, you're definitely going to have an advantage going into it when you start. But over time, I think you'll realize that being in good shape is more of a way to kind of keep you on the mat longer, as opposed to help you win matches. Because eventually this kind of strength and fitness kind of plateaus, and kind of everyone at the high level is in that good a shape, so then it kind of comes down more to your technique at that point.
I know with CrossFit Dux, we have at least 90% of our athletes just wanting to do it for health and fitness, not to be competitive whatsoever. Do you find that there's a lot of competition in your gym, or people do it more for fitness, or do they do it for self-defense?
I've trained at quite a few gyms in a couple different countries now. I definitely say that split is probably the same. Maybe 80-90% are in it just because they want to have fun, they want to get in shape, they want to learn a valuable skill. It's scary to think about, but if you ever get jumped in the street, I'd rather know something rather than nothing. But then if it's something that you really like and you want to get into, there's people that devote their whole lives to being world-class competitors and making a living this way, just like there are with CrossFit Games athletes and stuff.
The thousands of different avenues you can take in a certain position or situation that you find yourself in, but just having a little bit of instinct as to what do I do in this position. If you were ever, confronted by someone, or, drunk guy at the pub, or whatever it is, how helpful that would be to, say, a 16-year-old kid that's getting bullied, or someone that is nervous about walking down the streets. BJJ over almost anything else would be like such a helpful thing, almost better than a gun in some situations, just with like the confidence and your ability to know what to do if someone puts their arms around you, or goes for the neck, or goes for your purse. Or do you carry a purse?
No, I don't carry a purse. Yeah, no, that's 100% right. It's one of the main reasons I started. I was kind of a unpopular pudgy kid in high school, and jiu-jitsu helped me out a lot. It wasn't until after I started doing jiu-jitsu where I actually got the courage in high school to ask a girl on a date, for example. It does give you a little bit more peace of mind. It also keeps you more aware of your surroundings. I think once you get in the habit of, at practice, for example, you fight someone, you know what your limits are and are not.
Yeah, it's very humbling.
And jiu-jitsu has a really, in general, I think it's a good way to find out that you can do a lot more than you think you can.
Tim, what did you just do?
I took us the wrong way.
We got to go back because Tim misdirected us.
I took you to the cemetery.
We ended up in the Toowong Cemetery. God damn it. So we've emerged from the wilderness. Things are starting to look more familiar. I recognize this roundabout.
Cemetery's still there.
The cemetery's still there. But we're nearly there. Feeling pretty good after that first bit. That first bit rocked my world. This last half has been way more pleasant. Nearly there.
And just to clarify, Brittany seems to call it BJJ. It's not BJJ.
No, it's not BJJ. I think that's something different.
It just rolls off the tongue better though.
I think there's a subscription service online that you have to, that you need for BJJ.
The big man's car. The monster. The Dux Mobile. We are within sight of it. Nearly there. I'm so excited to get this backpack off me. We just want a coffee. We made it all the way. 100,000 kilometers later, we are here. Hello, sir.
How'd you go?
We made it. The first bit was horrible. The last bit was way better.
Yeah, all downhill.
All downhill.
All downhill.
Welcome, welcome. We need sustenance.
See ya on the next one.